right, for more on this, we are being joined by Peter Kuznick, professor of history and director of the Nuclear Studies Institute at American University from Washington, D.C. Peter, welcome back to WION. So here's another attempt on the former president's life. How could this happen again?
In the United States, first of all, this country is very polarized. Secondly, there's the Trump campaign has ginned up a lot of violent rhetoric. Now it's being directed against people in Springfield, immigrants, Haitian immigrants in Springfield, Ohio. Third, the United States is awash with guns. There are guns everywhere in this country, more guns than people in the United States. And so, in that kind of tense climate, it doesn't take much to get somebody who's even more extreme or mentally unhinged to try to use violence in that way. It's terrible, but the level of violence, potential violence in the United States is enormous now. And it's not so easy for these people to get assault weapons like this AK-47 that this guy apparently had.
So we saw some social media posts from him. He said he was willing to die in Ukraine. He went and fought there. He said that he needs democracy restored and that Trump is not going to be able to do that. Those are the rhetorics that he was following. But how can a shooter get the information about Trump at his golf resort when it wasn't publicly announced? Do you see another failure on the part of the security apparatus tasked to keep the former president safe?
I think you could say that what happened in Pennsylvania 2 months ago was a failure of the security apparatus. This time, however, they seem to have risen to the occasion and they spotted this gun, this rifle protruding from the bushes, and they opened fire. So how this guy knew, we have no idea at this point. The information is not yet available. However, Trump is somewhat predictable in what he eats, predictable in what he does. And so the guy might have been taking a chance. He probably didn't know for sure that Trump was going to be on the golf course, but he realized that there was a reasonable chance that Trump was going to be on the golf course. This is a guy who was a former Trump supporter, and he apparently has broken with Trump over Trump's, half-hearted support for Ukraine. But you have to remember that Obama refused to give Ukraine lethal aid. It was Trump who provided lethal aid to Ukraine. Trump who did a lot of the support for training people in Ukraine. And so, but who knows what was going on in this guy's mind? It could have been a Taylor Swift supporter for all we know. Trump had just that morning tweeted out, "I hate Taylor Swift." So, but it probably, we don't know for sure. So right now we're still at the stage of speculation and waiting for more information to come out. In any case, everybody deplores or should deplore this kind of violence, whether it's against Donald Trump or anybody else. The level of violence in this country is just too high at this moment.
Yeah, I mean, the temperature is way too high, like you mentioned. Do you think this will have any impact on the upcoming presidential election and how the Trump campaign decides to move forward in terms of security once again?
I think they're going to have to beef up the Secret Service protection for both candidates. The climate is just too angry, violent, polarized right now. They need real protection. The Secret Service has a lot of resources, but according to the leaders of the Secret Service, they're under-resourced. So I think Congress, in a bipartisan way, is going to provide more Secret Service support. And that's about all they can do because these candidates are out in public. And what we've known for a long time is that if someone is willing to sacrifice his or her own life in order to try to assassinate a president or a presidential candidate or a former president, it's sadly not that difficult to do. And this guy, Ruth, uh, said that he was willing to go and die in Ukraine. So somebody who obviously didn't take his own life, that's such a premium, and was willing to die in the hopes of assassinating President Trump. So fortunately, the Secret Service saw the rifle protruding and they opened fire. They apparently did not hit him. He escaped and they finally caught him 40 miles away. So fortunately for everybody, especially Donald Trump, but for everybody, that they caught this guy and that he's no longer poses a threat.
Yeah, amen to that. Peter, thank you so much for joining us on WION. I look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Of course, this is a developing story. We'll be following it very closely. And as you mentioned, really a very troubling event for everyone.
Right, definitely.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.